up, everyone? My name is Untamed Mando. Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're talking today about more Star Wars. I know you all are tired of hearing about Star Wars. I'm tired about talking about Star Wars, but we're still gonna do it anyway because I need the views. Just kidding. I'm reviewing a lot of this stuff, so I want to tell you my thoughts on it. That's what it boils down to. Anyway, let's get into it. We're talking about Boba Fett Season 2 today with Game Rant. Star Wars, A Book of Boba Fett Season 2 could put the character back on track. For any of you who are not familiar with the Book of Boba Fett Season 1, or for many of you, you like to say Mando Season 3 Part 1, you will understand that Season 1 of Book of Boba Fett was very controversial. It very much, in many people's opinion and in many people's eyes, it diminished Boba Fett's character. If you will notice, I have a Boba Fett statue behind me. You can understand I love Boba Fett's character, and I don't like his character to be defamed or diminished, which did, in my opinion, happen in this show. In Season 1 of Book of Boba Fett, they very much made him seem a lot less intimidating than he once was. Granted, yes, he has aged a little bit. Maybe he's calmed down a little bit in his old age, but that is not what we are introduced to in Mando Season 2 when we get an introduction into Boba Fett's character. He looks like he's still mean, lean, and ready to go take some bounties, and that is not really what we get here in Season 1. So without further ado, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Did you like Season 1 of Book of Boba Fett? Did you not like Season 1 of Book of Boba Fett? Let me know. I want to hear your thoughts. The Book of Boba Fett is a wildly polarizing Star Wars show, but it needs a Season 2 to right the wrongs of Season 1 and salvage the iconic character. I'm gonna say this is not a popular opinion in my circle of people, and I understand that why people don't like it. I understand, but this is my opinion. I like the black better than the white. I think it makes his armor look better. I really do. I know a lot of people are gonna say no, why? I like the black. I'm sorry. I always have liked the black. I continue. I digress. Book of Boba Fett is one of the most wildly polarizing Star Wars projects to date, and that's saying a lot given how passionate and critical Star Wars fans can be. It might seem like the smartest move to just sweep this misfire under the rug and forget it ever happened. Lucasfilm certainly has plenty of other shows to focus on. Andor is ending its run with a second season that will connect its gritty ground-level spy story to Rogue One. Ahsoka is a promising new Star Wars property with plenty of potential for the future, and there are more of Ben's exiled Jedi adventures to explore in a second season of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh dear. Oh my goodness. That does not sound good. But the Book of Boba Fett needs a second season to fix all the problems with the first season and get the beloved character back on track with his gritty self, his gritty bounty hunting self who takes names and just shoots everybody else. The post-credit scene of the Mandalorian Season 2 finale saw Boba Fett bursting into Jabba the Hutt's palace, killing everyone inside and seizing the throne for himself. A title card then announced the development of a spin-off series called The Book of Boba Fett. The darkness and brutality of this tease set up a very different show than the one that ended up getting made. That is the understatement of the century. It teased a brooding, hard-edge anti-hero story about a gunslinger settling old scores like The Bride and Kill Bill. But compared to the violent revisionist western set up by the post-credits teaser, the series that fans got was a bitter disappointment. That's putting it mildly, sir or ma'am, whoever wrote this article. Still, that doesn't mean it can't be salvaged with a corrective season 2. I hope so. I know a lot of people checked out after Boba Season 1, lovingly nicknamed Mando Season 3 Part 1. What happens in Book of Boba Fett Season 1? The Book of Boba Fett Season 1 primarily revolved around Boba and his sidekick Fennec Shand taking over Jabba the Hutt's criminal enterprise on Tatooine. Along the way, they butted heads with outlaw bikers, rival gangsters, and fellow bounty hunters. Oh my. This present-day storyline set during the Mandalorian's timeframe was intercut with flashbacks to Boba's past. These flashbacks showed how Boba survived his fall into the Sarlacc pit, which had supposedly killed him. In Return of the Jedi, after escaping from the Sarlacc, he was enslaved by some local Tusken raiders and proved himself to them by spearheading a train robbery. It had all the makings of a great space western. But it just didn't click. That's because the execution was pretty bad. Oh, look, we get the Power Rangers, the Powder Puff Power Rangers in Book of Boba Fett. At the end of the season, lo and behold, Boba decided that the crime lord lifestyle wasn't for him and decided to give up his throne so that he and Fennec could pursue other ventures. Then what was the whole point of murking that one guy in Boba's in Jabba's throne? Like, brah, he died for nothing. While this ending and the resolution of the show's narrative arc felt rushed and made the whole crime lord thing feel like a massive waste of time, it sure did. It did set up the possibility of a season 2 with a more faithful portrayal of the title character. It better. I know a lot of people were upset about what happened to Boba. Like, that was, Boba Fett was not treated kindly. What were the complaints about Book of Boba Fett Season 1? There was a lot of them. Namely, just this image right here, right there. Like, look at that. Powder blue, electric yellow, blazing orange, and weird green whatever. Like, this looks like an episode of the Power Rangers. This does not look like an episode of Boba Fett. Like, you can see Boba Fett's there in the picture, but man, does he look like it's so bright. Like, these bikes are so bright, and it's supposed to be dark, grungy, gritty, and that's not what we got. When it arrived on Disney Plus, the Book of Boba Fett received a mixed response from critics and fans alike. Most of the complaints revolved around the show's characterization of Boba himself. Nada, Sherlock. It softened Boba's edges and turned him into a friendly, compassionate guy. It might make sense for Boba to undergo some growth and personal change after surviving a near-death experience and being humbled by short-term enslavement, but he just didn't seem like the ice-cold gunslinging badass that Star Wars fans fell in love with back in 1980. Well, even, like, Season 2 of Mandalorian, that's what we're given. We are giving a gunslinging, gritty, no-nonsense Boba Fett. 2 entire episodes of the Book of Boba Fett 7-episode run pivoted away from Boba to focus on other characters. He has a blink and miss it cameo appearance in one scene across 2 whole episodes of his own series. One of these episodes is essentially a Mandalorian Season 3 premiere wedged into a Boba Fett show. It reintroduces a Grogu-less Mando wielding the Darksaber. He's back to his simple life of bounty hunting while he waits for Grogu to finish his Jedi training with Luke Skywalker. Spoiler alert, he doesn't. The other Boba free episode follows Mando on a visit to Luke's Jedi Academy where he sees Grogu and catches up with Ahsoka Tano. Oh my god. When the episode finally returns to Tatooine, it focuses on Cobb Vath and Cad Bane. Ooh, I love Cad Bane. The episode will give screen time to literally anyone in the Star Wars universe besides the series' title character. Wow, I wonder why people would be upset about that if they're going to watch a Boba Fett show and don't get to Boba Fett. Who knew? There was also an outlaw biker gang that rode around on multicolored space Vespas. You mean space mopeds that moved at a snail's These hovering space Vespas took center stage in the slowest chase in Star Wars history. It's not the most egregious thing in the world to have a slow-moving bikes with Power Rangers looking coloring. I didn't even read this beforehand. But it is a prime example of the lameness of the show's action. Right. Like, it speaks for itself. Could a Boba Fett Season 2 fix things? I sure as heck hope it could. There's a chance for Book of Boba Fett Season 2 to right the wrongs of Season 1 if it actually focuses on Boba and doesn't just use a Boba Fett story as a backdoor into a Mandalorian story, which I think after Mando Season 3, a lot of people like me are just angry and upset and don't stop it. A galaxy far, far away is full of enemies with whom Boba has unfinished business, like Han Solo, Mace Windu, and the Book of Boba Fett Season 2 needs to be a true space western with a badass gunfighter going from planet to planet exacting revenge on his old foes, like what we were expecting in Season 1, which didn't happen. And to be quite honest, I thought Mace Windu died. I thought it was finally confirmed in canon that he died. I mean, I know in the EU, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've read a book that had him in it in the EU, but I thought in the EU he for sure lives, but in the canon we suspect that he's alive, but it's not been confirmed. Which also, I'm currently reviewing Ahsoka, and we get a throwaway line of Leia Organa. I wonder if we're gonna get the same kind of thing in the Book of Boba Fett Season 2. It's like, oh yeah, Han's over there, and nothing's done about it. I really hope that's not what they end up doing in Book of Boba Fett Season 2, if it does get a Season 2, which I don't know with the writer strike going on. Y'all let me know down in the comments if we know if it's been greenlit or not for a Book of Boba Fett Season 2. According to this article, it seems like it's pretty much greenlit, but I'm not 100% certain. So yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comment section down below. Did you like Book of Boba Fett Season 1? Did you dislike it? Tell me why. I did not care for it. I thought that if we were introduced to Boba Fett in Mando Season 2 the way that we are given in Book of Boba Fett Season 1, I don't think a lot of people would have had as much of a problem. Especially with the flashbacks. People would have understood, like, oh, like he's gotten beaten down a little bit. He's building himself back up. Understanding he's down on his luck, trying to build himself back up. Then Season 1 of Boba Fett would make complete sense. He's just trying to get himself back together, trying to organize himself, but that's not what we were given in Mando Season 2 when we are introduced to Boba Fett's character again. When we're introduced, he is cold, hard killer, not afraid to whip out his gun and just pew pew everybody. Like, I don't that's what I think that's the main thing that a lot of people are upset with. Is if we had been given Boba in Mando Season 2 the same way we were given Boba in Book of Boba Fett Season 1, I think less people would have had a problem because it wouldn't have been such a jarring change. It's like immediately he comes in, he murks everybody, he sits on the throne, and then he's like, oh, I kind of feel bad for killing everybody. I guess I should probably think about my ways and do better. Really? Like, when you sit on the throne, did it just flip a switch in your brain and you're just like, I'm nice now? So that's my opinion on why a lot of people found Book of Boba Fett Season 1, a lot of people didn't like it. And I also did not like it for that reason, because it was too jarring. It was not what I was expecting going into a Boba Fett series. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.